Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second and/or Asst afternoon sessions of the MUIC Virtual Open Day 2021. So in the morning, we had a very, very interesting sessions. We talked about science that is related to biological, chemistry, physics, and also applied mathematics. And now the afternoon sessions, it's going to be a lot of fun too, but we have moved a bit forward to the computer science and computer engineering stuff. And before I get into, get deeply into this, let me introduce you about how do you register into our event. So before you before you log in or anything, please go to Zip event and make a registration. And you have to select the category if you're a student or you're a parent. And next, once you have clicked and everything is done, you will be receiving a replied email from Zip event. And from that link, you'll be able to get into the virtual exhibition. So what's happening in there, it's like you'll find 25 booths of different programs that you might be interested in. So maybe you or your parents, you can get along and you can talk to our lecturers, you can talk to our program directors, and you can also talk to the alumni. So if you're not sure about anything, please feel free to ask. And I think a lot of people are ready. In the morning, we had about like 200 and plus, and I believe right now after lunch, you still stay tuned with us. And we are now having a live sessions at Facebook MUIC official fan page, and also the YouTube of MUIC, Mahidol University International College, and also at Zip event. Okay, so I think everyone is ready. And our next session will be the Computer Science by Dr. Boonyanit Mathayomchan, faculty member of the Science Division. So Ajahn will be coming up with a lot of information, a lot of things for you to know, and also good slides. สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับ
Okay. How are you today? So how was your lunch?
I'm doing fine, I guess.
You're looking great.
All
And
right.
computer science, it's a program that is very, very interesting. And, a lot of students, even me as a current trend for now, we're hearing a lot of things about this. And before we apply to this program, can you just tell us what this program is all about?
All right. Computer science is just like one branch of science, right? Science is a big umbrella. And if you think what is science? Science is about studying for facts, understanding, trying to understand. And you can compare computer science to other things that could be more conventional. Something that mankind have been dealing with that for centuries, right? You think about physics. We learn about atom, we learn about those kind of things, and then we have nuclear power, right? So understanding lead to some other things, right? We can innovation we cannot make a big leap without understanding, right? You think about human go to space, those things come from understanding. And computer science is about understanding about the computer first, understanding about what could be accomplished using those the tools that we have, and what else we can do, and what are the current limits. So it's about understanding about the computing power. Okay, I use the word computing power, not just computer. The computing power. What will that enable us to accomplish? So that's what we are learning in computer science.
Okay, so do you need to be a tech savvy to be able to get into this program?
So that would tech savvy. I think in some sense, if you have passion with that, right? You are okay. Computer is something very new to human being. All right. So when I say new, you think about Homo sapien, 5 million years, right? So we evolved for 5 million years, and think about how many years we have computer in our life. We have maybe 50 years, right? Personal computer. I'm talking about personal computer. So maybe 50 years. If you think the mankind is from 5 million years ago, and right now, today, that 50 years, just one tiny dot from this timeline. So computer technology can be something new. So if you feel it is interesting or it's fascinating, that's a good start, right? It's a good starting point. So you may want to learn more. This is something very new. Even right now, there are lots of things that we don't know about it, and we are trying to understand more and discover, things to come. So yes, it would help. But if you don't know, but if you have for example, if you have no idea what does it mean, what it is, I think it's a good chance for you to explore more. Right? There's so many resources out there. But let's say that if you don't you think you like playing games, maybe that is not a good a good clue about computer science as
computer science.
Yeah, that's computer science is not about playing games. Computer is when you play games, you use a computer, right? But computer science is more about understanding. The same way, just maybe you think about let's say and I don't know, a physicist or whoever, you can think when you use the tool, it doesn't mean that maybe okay, maybe I have tried to find a better analogy. So let's say that you want to learn about a car, you love driving, but maybe you don't want to learn about a car. Okay, so you want to go into the computer science field. It's just you want to learn more about the car. You want to make the car better. Maybe you don't want to drive all day long, right? But you have passion with this, or you want to understand more. You want to make a car a better car. You want to build something better for everyone. So maybe that is a good starting point.
And for computer science, if you talk about the trend for now, a lot of graduates these days are looking for a job, and they feel there's a lot of demand in the market because AI, Internet of Things, and so many things are coming up. So that makes this program become very, very hot and popular. Don't you think so?
Yes, that is it's a fact that we have to see. If you look at the big firms, okay, just have to think about big firms. If you ask my generation, let me say 40 years ago, for 40 years ago, someone asked me think about big firms. In my mind, I would think about Toyota, right? Or maybe Sony, or maybe those kind of firms.
The big ones.
But right now, if you ask people, name 5 big firms, I'm pretty sure maybe 4 from 5 gonna be the tech firms, right? If I ask name 5 big firms, for example, you talk about $1 trillion companies. In your mind, you're gonna see Google, you're gonna see Apple, you're gonna see Amazon, you're gonna see lots of companies that not the traditional ones that we have been understanding or those like old technologies. So the job market, because like like it's about money, right? Business is about money. Big firms, they make money, and to make money, they need someone to help them create new products or services. So that's why like the job market is where like this field is like it's in demand, and I think it won't be it won't stop here. We are just like at the very beginning era of like utilizing technologies. So what I foresee is that it's going to be like more and more demand in something greater and deeper, right? So that's would be my guess.
So you're actually building a very a good team of creating efficiencies to our world. I have to say that, everything has to be computing and all stuff. Can you just tell me more about this program? Our 4 years of life in MUIC studying computer science. What's the program about? What's the highlight in this?
All right, maybe let me share you something first. Give me a second, and then maybe I can do this, and let me do this. All right, sorry, maybe. So sure, right? When you enter like MUIC, so first we know that like students come from various backgrounds, and then you may not like have the foundation, or like people may come with different kind of strength. So we want students at like MUIC, like who choose CS, to have like good foundation. So we start with like you can see like math, right? We do some basic math, right? Like foundation and just like basic calculus. Why we need math, right? Again, this is something that people like. We have to make it clear that, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like you don't need math. So science and it's like computer, right? Computer is like a machine that compute. And when you say compute, math is the heart of it, right? But this is not math that you see tricky questions just to do the exam. It's not that. We learn math as like how math works in terms of in the world of like computing, like, and the math we learn is like what's gonna be like quite particular. The field of math that you're gonna learn gonna be something like not the math that you learn from high school, like to do the exam. So now when we learn math, we learn to use it, to apply it. We don't learn math to do the test, to get good score, to get into good school. That's not the same. So the math here, the focus won't be like, how to solve the question, how to bring the answer as fast as possible. So it's going to be more about why we are doing this. And, what could we do with this math too? And then math going to be like, let's say a couple courses. After that, you can see you're going to enter into the more of CS. Also like early CS, we also like don't assume that people are going to have like good background. So we can start with like introduction to programming. So programming is another thing. Like programming is not a big deal. How to put that? Programming is important, but I will tell you like why it's important. But it's not even a quarter of how we do things at MUIC, right? So programming is the ability to turn something into a tangible form. Let's say if you have idea, right? For example, you think like if you're an artist. You have an idea. I want to pen this. I want to pen that. So in your mind, you already have what you want to pen, right? That is in your mind. And then the minute that you want, okay, now I'm gonna pen it. You want to make it real. You want to make it happen. That is programming. So programming is just like one portion of what we're gonna do, so that you can turn like the products of your brain, the products that you like your creativity into something like people can use, people can enjoy that, and like actually you can like sell that products or the services that you created. So programming is just like a small part, but you can see just like if from this like one, you can see like introduction to programming, but you're gonna see more things here like discrete math, as I just mentioned. We use like a very small part, like math that mostly we're gonna deal with won't be something that won't be crazy equations. It's gonna be like more like we call it discrete math. It's just like something that comes from counting, because the foundation of computer is just like 0 and 1, right? 0 is nothing, 1 is 1. So 0, 1 is just like this nature of computer. So the math that we're gonna learn gonna be something called discrete math. And maybe you want to know more about this, you can like maybe Google this term, discrete math. So it's gonna be sometimes this field of math is more like more like puzzles. So you work with puzzles and you think like, what are the possible ways to tackle this puzzle, and like how many solutions are there. So this field of math going to be more very specific, and like math is like big field, and then discrete math that we deal with going to be like quite particular into a certain field. for example, you say, oh, I don't like algebra. Discrete is not algebra, right? So this is something. And then you're going to see we learn something like data structure. We learn about something that about data, how we deal with data. And you think like, what does it mean? Data structure, it sound kind of confusing. It sound like, what is that? You think about, Facebook, how people are connected, right? Like, we are talking about structures. You have a friend, your friend, like you have friends, right? And your friends also have friends. And some of your friends know each other, right? So if you connect them, you connect the dots, you start to see structure, right? So you can think data structure is like something that we learn more. And we learn just like, data structure is like, you can think about the way that computers store complicated information, right? And that is something, and it's going to lead to something more advanced, right? Data science, database, right? Interaction design, like, and lots of more things. This is like at the very beginning of like, early year. So the early year SMUAC, we will build foundation for students so that you can move to something like more challenging or more like, interesting. So maybe I can show you the other one, right? After you have your basic, your foundation, that's called like an early year. Now it can become the mid game. The mid game is that you have to think that what you want to do with your life. Okay, this is something that, because under the field of computer science, there are so many like branches that you can also like pursue. You don't have to just like go to the same thing. Like, so here, some people want to do like academic. You want to do like something like kind of deep, like, like deep tech. So some people want to go to master degree, to PhD. And we have students that did that. We have students that right now is working at Microsoft. After graduating, just go and work and do the master degree, and now joining Microsoft team in the US, in Seattle. We have students that want to just like become like they don't want to become teachers. They don't want to become teachers. They don't want to teach, but they want to pursue something like more of the theoretical part and apply in the deep tech, in the like very advanced like firms, like big firms like that. So academic and research, that's one thing. And academic research doesn't mean like government or like, educational, like, or like in like universities. Academic research also mean like, private sectors. So they do the deep tech in the private sectors, right? And then if you talk about something like, broader, like in demand in anywhere in the world, it's like, software developer to develop software system. That is a part that, you can go anywhere and you can have like people that looking for someone that gonna feel this, like gonna perform this task. Like me getting emails from friends, like my friends send me emails, like I get like about a couple emails a week asking me like, do you know someone who can do this, who can do that? And basically like, do you have students who gonna graduate and wanna do this? Right? So like software developer, it's just like we need that like everywhere you go. And the one that you just mentioned, like AI and data analysis, like data science, that is something that very, very like, very interesting, because like the world is moving forward toward like, because the world's are like, as also just I mentioned, IoT, Internet of Things. So IoT, when you have so many things that connect to each other and send data to the center, this thing like the amount of data can be way beyond what a human being can process. So we need something else that can process this, like this amount of data, this volume, right? This velocity, things that are coming through the center. So we cannot have people look through that. You think about like Twitter, you cannot have people go read all like messages. Or you think about like YouTube, you cannot have people just go and watch YouTube and try to find, hey, this video has a music from like that artist, and you don't have the license. No, the whole things must be done using AI, using a computer. So we need a computer to like deal with like the information. So AI and data, like data analysis is like our data analyst here, like the job title is data analyst, and you can think in the field data science. So these are the hot fields, because like we have to deal with, we are dealing with something that beyond what human being can deal like manually. I cannot hire like 1 million people to watch like 10 million video per day. That is impossible. So YouTube, like they implement the system that can scan your video, try to find things, like analyze the image. Or you think about like, places that you think about Tesla, right? Tesla has like something very interesting. Like Tesla, Elon Musk say that enjoy driving, why you can, because he believes that one day driving going to be illegal for human being. He believes that the machine can perform this task better, because people get tired. Right? You don't get enough sleep, you get tired. And like if people run into like, create like, accident.
They're
and
uncontrollable.
So they believe that the machine can do this job better. And one day, we don't know when, but one day, it will be illegal for us to drive a car. So when that day comes, it means that, okay, let the car drive itself. You just sit and let the car make the decision. The car don't get angry. You won't get road rage, right? You don't have to it won't be the situation that, people just get into something ugly because the computer is going to do that. And what it says is very interesting is that the computer doesn't have to be perfect, right? The computer doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to be better than us. And we are not that good when it comes to driving. So that's why, self-driving, you can see Tesla is doing that. Tesla cars, it's very famous for that, right? So AI, this is something AI. Or the other term you can see this is called machine learning. That is a term that more broader. Machine learning. Also, the next one is just mentioned something called because this day we have to deal with lots of things, and then in order to make it work, it's no longer one computer. It's no longer that you just buy one computer, install software, and then this day you have to talk about maybe 5,000 of computers helping you deliver something. Or you think about Google. Google has maybe couple 100,000 servers that are serving you right now. So in order to make an army of computers work, you need someone to know how to orchestrate them, right? So here, platform engineer, how to deal with them, how to connect them, and when something is wrong, how to fix them, how to, right, or how to ease the problems that happen to the system. So here is also platform engineer. And after you have what you want to do, we have courses elective courses that you can choose. Not your students have different kind of interests. So you should choose something that meet your what you want to learn or what you want to do after you graduate, right? So that's that's what we are doing. And after this, you're going to be more of the course, and you're going to do internship, and then you're going to get to do the project, right? Pick something interesting to you and spend that year, enjoy, or maybe suffering doing that. But that's learning process, right? I tell you, we believe in suffering in the sense that if you don't if you don't work hard with it, right, you don't master that craft, so it won't come easily, right? But the nice thing is that we have an ecosystem, that we have other students, we have senior students, we have teachers are here to help you with that. So you're gonna have to do something that's gonna be quite demanding, but you won't do that alone, right? You can have people that encourage you and really push you to accomplish your goal. All right, so that's kind of the slide I want to show you, and maybe with following questions I have something to show.
Sure. Please.
Do you have anyone you want to ask? Anything else? The audience?
Do we have any audience or any questions? Or do you want me to ask on behalf of our potential students?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay. And so this computer science is grooming, the students to learn about something that is dealing with the upcoming trends that you have to live with in the future. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. And they can either they graduate to work in a very big firm, or either they come up with a company of their own. And a very good questions from my side. I feel it's a trend, and it's going to be the future too. It's a future of startups, right? Because startups need a really, really, great teams of people who have an idea of, computer science and stuff. What do you think about the future of startup that, from your past success cases or projects or students who have been graduated from your program, and how do they carry on this forward into something that they build their own business?
All right. This is a very good question, because lots of students, in the old days, people just want to join big firms. But these days, they want to be, their boss.
They want to be their own boss. They want to be an entrepreneur.
Right. And in order to accomplish that, you have to know, as I just showed, that there are many branches that you can master. And in order to be to run startup, you're gonna need people. You're gonna need the right people to help you. And actually, MUIC is one of the best place to meet like, good friends, because you don't just meet like friends in CS, in computer science. You have friends in business, right? You have friends from like fine and applied arts. So you're gonna see like you have various people that you can ask them for their opinions. When you create the problem with startup is that you're working so hard with your products, and then you believe it's good, it's your child, right? You love your child, and sometimes without good friends you don't see pitfalls of your own products or services. However, with good friends, they can identify that for you, or maybe they can help you refine that. So MUIC is a place that we have students that come here, and after a while, like they have friends from like other programs, and then they help each other, right? For example, you are good at creating like maybe like artificial intelligence. You are good at creating like algorithms like that, but how to plan like to do business, like how to plan this, how to like plan the whole thing, right? And as like when you try to scale up and you try to have customers, how would you deal with the money? How would you deal with like the expense? And how would you start your business? And the more you grow, the more problems that you have, and those problems may be beyond your domain of expert. So here at WAC, you get those help, and then those people, since you spend 4 years together, there's nothing to hide, right? You know each other pretty well. So when it is bad, your friend can say, that is terrible. Like, I won't use it, right? Forget about like selling it. Like, even you give me for free, I won't use it. So you get very honest opinion. Like they give you like the honest feedback without like worrying that you're gonna hate that person, because you know each other for a long time. And then you know that whatever suggestion that you have got, that's from like good intention. So this kind of like combination of friends, of skill sets, and can help you accomplish your goal, right? And that is like very important. Like not many people that can accomplish the goal by himself, by herself, because like you have 24 hours. Like how many hours you can study per day, right? That's 24. So you can be good in maybe in CS. Like how can you be good in marketing? How can you be like so good in like presentation, right? Good ideas. You don't know how to sell. You cannot sell that. So anyway, like good idea and you know how to sell, but the products look ugly, right? No one that make it look like appealing for the customers, and people don't buy it. So it's the whole package. And it's very competitive. So it's a good thing that networking is very important. So I think like it's a good thing. And like I encourage all students to aim to build like new products or services. And the nice thing is like these days that in the old days to start a business is very difficult. Let's say you want a server. You have to spend like 100,000 baht buying a server. These days, you want a server, you just rent from Amazon. They charge by how many minutes that you run it, right? It's cloud computing. You want 1,000 server and you want to run for 1 hour, you can do that in 10 minutes. You can like speed up 1,000 servers, right? And it is much cheaper than buying even 10 servers. So here, right? Sometimes you hear the word fail fast, succeed faster. So the idea is like, here you can try you can try new ideas and you can see that it works or not. Unlike the old days, to try anything new, it means a lot of investment. But these days, you want to try something new, just try it. It won't cost that much. And there are companies that are willing to put money to back you up, right? If they think like your ideas are good, and you can ask for funding, they're going to be like VC, like venture capital, that can help you with it. But the thing is like you need to come up with something solid, something concrete. Maybe you don't have like many customers, but you have prototype, and your prototype works, and then like it is convincing, and the money will come, right?
Okay, thank you very much. And to my last questions, what about like further education? In my understanding, computer science something to do more about projects, something to do more about new tasks every day. And do you have any partners as for now that during internships, or you're ready to send your students to develop their skill or to do any further something full stack, anything else?
Yes, we work with like many companies, and actually like the companies, they have questions, they have problems, right? They have problems with their business. Yes, and they're gonna come and like can you help us? And actually, there's some of our teachers like help them, and in order to help them, like the teachers also cannot work alone. Right, so we go as a team. So that like the team of teachers go there, and then we tag along our students. Actually, it's one. I'm not sure I can name that. But normally, like if we work with something like deep tech, we have to sign NDA. But let me the companies that I'm talking about right now is in automobile industry, top names. All right, I won't name let's say like the top ones for sure. Like, and you can say in Thailand, like maybe like the first or second one depends on how you're gonna pick who is the best. So like they came to us, like they asked our teachers to help them. So we help them. We bring our students along, and then they just recruit our student after graduation right away. So basically, you get a job, in a very advanced, like doing something very advanced in a very good firm, and then these kind of things that we do with our partners or like people who come to us asking for like our expertise. So we are doing that, and we don't just go alone. Like we just go with, like we go as a team because it's as MUIC. And when we see our students working there, we feel great that okay, here they know we produce something that they have to grab it. That's why they try to offer before like someone else can make that offer. And this thing happened not just companies from Thailand, right? We got offers like this. So I can tell you like the name of the company. Let's say the companies, like two big companies in Singapore, came to Thailand and asked us about this, and they're just trying to recruit graduates from us. And talking about job, I have one last like suggestion. Is this one, guy? When you want to do when you want to search for jobs, anything, like say you don't want to know what you want to do, which is fine. At this point, who knows like what you want to do in your life? So I want you to just Google this keyword, right? Jobs at and the company name. For example, this first tab, I search jobs at Apple. It's gonna come to this one, right? And then you just search like the term that you want to search. For example, I can search the term. For example, let's say.
What's the address again, Ajahn?
Just Google jobs at and then the company name, whatever. So I have many tabs here. So jobs at Apple, for example, I'm gonna search for AI, right? At the Apple and AI, and then after you click AI, you're gonna see what are they expecting, like machine learning. And this is like internship. Sorry. So you just click here. Sorry, AI. Okay, machine learning AI. So just search it. After you search for that, then you're gonna see the requirements. What do they want from you, from whoever gonna graduate, whoever gonna apply for that. And you can see that this one is advanced, like PhD in like machine learning, CS. So anyway, guys, you can see a lot of jobs. For example, okay, one more thing. I'm just gonna do it quickly. It's engineer. You put the keyword engineer in. You're gonna see tons of engineering jobs. And then let's say I'm gonna go with software engineer at platforms engineering. You click that, and then you scroll down. You're gonna see like qualification. Okay, bachelor degree or equivalent experience required, master degree in computer science or other engineering fields. So here you're doing the same thing. Here I tried the next step. This is with Google. I say search jobs at Google, and jobs at Google. You can also choose your location or degree. For example, you think after I get bachelor degree, what can I do? So here you click degree and you choose the bachelor degree. And then you're gonna see the job titles, what you can do. And then you look at the jobs that maybe sound like something like you want. And after that, you look at the so here, sales engineer is a sale, right? Bachelor degrees in computer science, related technical fields. And then you can keep doing this, like Facebook, the same thing, jobs at Facebook. And then you search the term. For example, Facebook, you can search for let's say data engineer analytics, right? This is in Slack. So anyway, you can search this also jobs at Tesla. And here I just machine learning, right? Just like Tesla, right? Autonomous car. So search through this, look for the jobs, look for the qualifications, look for what they do, look for the knowledge that they are looking for, and ask yourself, do you want to pursue that? If you have passion, it won't be difficult. It's gonna be demanding, but you're gonna enjoy doing that, and you're gonna feel you're gonna feel great when you reach that that reach your goal. So just keep your eyes open, Google around, look around, and then if you need more help or you have more questions, we are willing to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're gonna be in the virtual exhibition as well, right, Ajahn?
We have teachers. We have Ajahn is Ajahn doing that. So don't worry, just us and we will try our best.
Okay. So for anybody who have questions, please feel free to get into the virtual exhibitions. So let me say thank you to you. Thank you very much to Dr. Boonyanit, Mathayomchan, faculty member of Science Division of Computer Science. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
It was
having
really
me.
fun talking to you. I feel like joining a computer science again. I mean, right? To know more about how it actually is. So let's move to the other thing, that is a bit, that you sounds very similar, but you're not sure about what the difference actually is. So the next discussion will be about computer engineering. So we have our program director of computer engineering, Dr. Lalita Narupiyakul with us today. So, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Hope you're doing great.
Yes.
After
Nice
lunch,
to
how are
meet
you? Nice to meet you, Ka. So a
Yes.
lot of students are waiting to hear from you because, computer engineering is something that is coming up and exciting. Can you just give a brief introduction about what this computer engineering is all about?
Yes, sure. I think so. I go to my slides first. Right. Okay. And okay. So basically, most of the question that we got is what are the difference between the computer science and computer engineering, right? Many students curious about this, and so may I clarify about the computer engineering? Basically, it's in the middle of the computer science and electrical engineering, right? So if you have to study about the computer engineering, what you have to learn is you have to learn related to the software, learning about the programming, right? And at the same time, you also need to know about the hardware part, how we're going to control the hardware, how we're going to control the electrical stuff, right? Okay, so basically it's like a combination, both the software and hardware together. That is about the computer engineering. And okay, so basically about the computer engineering. So here is just a rough areas. What you have to learn that is going to be related to the computer software engineering, right? We learn about the programming, the web development, mobile development, right? UX, UI, and also so we have to learn about the computer networks, right? And the hardware, for example, the IoT part, how we're gonna integrate them together, right? How we're gonna make it work, right? And then about the data part that is gonna be related to the data engineering, right? It's not just only the big data that parts the computer science have to analyze the data, but when we're gonna prepare the hardware part to serve data analysis, if you're thinking about if we have to analyze 10 terabyte data, that is not impossible, just only the typical computers or just a laptop to analyze it. So we have to know how to manage the supercomputers to analyze the data, right? That is the part of the data engineer to do it, right? To serve the system to analyze the big data. Okay, so I think many people right now talking about the AI, right? And probably many students already see that, okay, AI can do this, that, does so many things, right? It's pretty smart. And some of the example that AI can work it with the robot, right? And it can work just like a smart appliance, for example, a vacuum cleaners, right? And even in the hospitals, we can have the telemedicine, right? That we can remote see the pictures or see the data from another side of the another hospitals, right? Okay, so here is our programs. Basically, for 4 years, right? We're gonna have 170 credits, right? And basically, so I just create the rough areas about the course that students need to take it. Basically, when we start from the first years and second years, right? Mostly students have to learn about the math and science. Basically, that is going to be about the calculus, linear algebra, and physics. That is a foundation of the computer engineering knowledge. And then after students learn about the math and physics already, so they're gonna learn more about how to do the programming and how they're gonna learn more about the electronics, right? That is gonna be the course that they have to learn about the software part, and also they're gonna learn about the hardware part. For example, they have to learn about the digital circuit designs. They have to learn about the microprocessors and interfacings, right? And even they have to learn about the embedded systems, how to make a small device, how to control the small device, or even control them to collect the data from the sensors, right? And also they have to learn about the network part. And here just an example about the elective course that the student can choose to learn about. For example, they can learn about the computer graphics, right? They can learn about, if they have more interest in the system or signal, they can learn about the computer vision's image processing, right? And if they have more interest in the hardware part, they can learn about, for example, the mechatronics, right? They can learn about the AI or pattern recognition, right? And here is one of the example of our student who's doing the senior project, that he's working on the detecting the location that is might be a suspect of the tumors in the breast cancers, right? So that is his senior project as an example, right? And for the activities, right, somebody asked about, okay, so during the study in the computer engineering, what they can do. For example, we also have the exchange programs, right? We have the MOU with the Ontario Tech in Canada, right? That yearly student can apply for the exchange student for 6 months. And we also have the collaboration with the Japan's, right? And in the previous years, I think it's 2 years ago, students have the study tour with the at Huawei, right? At the Huawei companies in China. Right? And also in the past, our students also participate in the just like a exchange program, like a summer camp programs, right? In Japan also. And we also provide the training for our students, maybe according to their interest. So some interesting thing that some students may also ask about, okay, can we provide about the financial plan for a new grad, right? Because they are going to graduate, and they worry about how they're gonna manage about their financials, right? So we also provide this kind of the training also. And okay, so another thing is about the job, right? There are different type of the job. So many things about the job that a student can apply, right? And for suppose the software engineering, right? In the software areas, they can do about the UI UX designs. For the securities, right? They can do about the security engineers, and some interesting thing is about they can do about the penetrate testers, right? It's just like a white hackers. So they are they learn just like to be a hacker, but it's going to be the white hacker to check whether the system or the web application is secure enough, or try to find the leak in the system, right? And try to protect it. And they can do about the system on the network, right? Doing about the system engineer, DevOps engineers, right? And even the robotic engineers. And for the data areas, students can choose to apply for example, the data engineers. They can do about the database designers or system analysts. Okay, so here's the example about where's our alumni right now. So there are many companies that you can apply after you graduated. Yes, and the last one is about the scholarship, right? Especially for just only these 2 years, right? And for this year's student IDs 64 that who gonna apply in this year, right? We also have the scholarship. There are 2 scholarships for the student, and this is a really good scholarship because it's going to be the 50% discount for the tuition fee. That is a lot, right? But it's not just only one trimester; it's 12 trimester together. So until the student graduated, so it's pretty interesting, right? And the below is our criteria. So if the student can pass this criteria, right? So they are going to be the candidate. And if there are the number of the student who can pass the criteria more than the number of the scholarship. So we're gonna ranking according to the highest one to the lowest one, right? And the top two gonna got the scholarship, right? Okay, I think that's all briefly about my slide, right? And the last one, I think, just give you an example about, okay, what is hardware and software working together, right? So this robot, this called Senbos. Actually, he's in my office, right? And one day I just turned on the music and he's shaking his head and he's smiling, right? So I know that, oh, he like the music, right? And then when I turn to be another song, and then he make this face. Oh, and then I realized that, oh, okay, probably he doesn't like this song. So it's kind of like funny is that it's just like because of the programming and hardware working together, and it makes us understand how the robot feel it, right? So this kind of the example that how the hardware part and software part can work together. Right. And we can use the robot in the many areas, right? You can see that during the COVID situation, right? We can use the robot to serve the medicine, right? That is pretty, they are really smart, right? Okay, so I think that's all for my slides.
So that was the robot was not getting infected, unlike the human, right? During COVID. Okay, so let me discuss with you about getting into, recruitment and getting into MUIC in the Faculty of Computer Engineering. What's the size? What's the number of people entering into this and the survival rate, and also the graduation rate, kind of, what is the rate? Is it difficult? Yeah.
I don't think it's difficult for the admission, right? Many students can pass the admission.
Do we need to have like a little knowledge about computer science or engineering a little bit? Or maybe from physics, I can just come to computer engineering, does it require any previous knowledge to know more than before getting to the...
They are pretty much the same at the admissions, right? Basically, students need to have the math skill and English skill. Just the same requirement from the MUICs, right? But when they start to study about the computer engineering, it might be a little bit different between computer science and computer engineering, because you see that we also need to, we also want students to learn about physics, but it's not all the physics, right? It's just only the part about that is that related to the electronic part. So because when the student have to learn about the hardware, they need to know about how to control the electronics and how to understand the symbol and all the electronic stuff that is about the physics. But related to the programming, right? What they need is they also need to understand about the math, right? Because if they understand, they can do pretty good programming. Okay, and so basically, the second year and the third year, most of the students gonna learn about the programming and learn about the hardware. For example, the computer architectures. They learn about the digital, the circuit design. So we're gonna have the electronic board, right? And let the student control about the electronic board and see that when the light is gonna turn on, when the light is gonna turn off, when the programs is according to our labs, right? And they also they can learn about the embedded system that is going to do the digital electronic board. For example, the Raspberry Pi, the Arduino board, right? And then they're going to make connect it with the sensor. For example, they connect it with the temperature sensors, connect it with the light sensors. So student can learn how to control it if they were to turn on the light, how they're gonna do it. So they have to do the programs and connect it with the electrical wires and on and board together, right? And also the sensors. All of these things need to be connected together to control. For example, collect the temperatures. How they're gonna detect that? Okay, now temperature is too hot, right? Let's turn on the fans. Or now the temperature is cool enough. Now we're gonna turn off the fans. So this is what we're gonna learn. And in the class, the student can do the project right? And we also have for example, the competitions, just like make a sumo robot, right? And then they're gonna have the competition. So it's a kind of fun things, right? And
it's more like innovations, right? Inventions, plugging them with life, and how do you make life easier?
Yes. Most of the computer technologies is tied to exist the humans, right, in different ways, and then so sometimes like when people have some strugglings, for example, some disability people, right, they thinking about, okay, how we gonna help them, right? If, for example, the technologies about the GPS or even the Google Maps, right, they can lead the disability people to the destination. So it's a kind of really nice thing for the technologies right now. And we also for the computer engineering, right, we can be able to control the hardware and program the software together to make the thing work, because sometimes even only the software, right, we might need to have the mobile device, we might need to have the tablet or laptop, right? But if we can make a device that is going to be suitable for the users, right? For example, right now you can see the wearable device, for example, the Apple Watch, right? That can have the sensor to detect the heartbeat, to detect the oxygen in the blood, right? That is going to be very useful for the users, especially for the people who's aware about their health, their exercise. They can monitor that, okay, their health is good enough, or how about their exercise. So it's a kind of related to the user daily life, right? That the hardware and software that can make together, make it suitable for the users in daily life, right?
Oh wow, that's really, really great. And what will be the challenges in joining a computer engineering of Ajahn Lalita?
That's a nice question, right? Actually, the challenges is for the students, we are looking for the student who's not just only concentrate about the learnings only, right? So actually, we prefer the student who can learn and play together, right? And you can see that in many courses, is a project based. Basically, a student learns the theories, and then they also need to do the projects. So in this case, is that they can implement the knowledge that they have learned in the class and make a project that can do some things, right? And that is going to be according to the imagine of the student. They can propose their own projects that related to the programming, right? For example, they would like to make a games, right? They just write the program to create a games, like a shooting games or whatever, right? Depend on the student and depend on their interest also, right? And sometimes like a student see some problems about their daily life, right? And they would like to make something that can solve the problems. For example, they can use the camera to do some things. They see the problem about the traffic. They would like to, how about using the CCTV cameras, get the pictures and recognize something that somebody do illegal things on the street, right? How they gonna detect it? So students see the problems, and when they interest it, they can create small projects to implement it, right? Just like a prototype for them to learn, and then at the end they have fun with their project also. It's not just learning about the theories, and so at the end they choose their own problems, create the projects, and they understand about how what they learned and how they're gonna implement it to the projects.
From my understanding, I thought computer engineering are like for men. But from talking to our program director, a woman, I feel there's a lot of opportunities for, as a lady to be, coping with something that is a bit difficult to understand. It's just because we don't really know about it. So how would you communicate with parents? Maybe their kids, or, they love playing games. They want to be expert in computer engineering, but the parents doesn't really understand much. Can you just relay or talk about how would things be if the kids are in this program?
Actually, for the computer engineering, even they love to play games, right? Even right now, playing games can make the money also, right? Not just only the playing games. Definitely, there is a game industry in Thailand that is pretty big enough, and there is a career path in the games also that if they are interested. So I think their parents should encourage them, right? But and maybe help their children to explore more about their interests, right? And you mentioned about even boys or girls, male or female, about the computer engineering, right? I don't think it's a problem right now. When just like in our programs, we have both boy and girls to study in our programs. I don't think it's going to be the problem. Just only mostly, definitely, it's going to be males. But I saw that the number of the females students keep increasing in some years, right? But I don't think male or female is going to be the problems. For the parents, I say that why they should ask why they need to why their children need to study about the computer engineering. I think that is about if their parents understand their kids, right? See that what is the interesting of their kids. I didn't mention that it need to be only the computer engineering, and the kids need to choose or the kids need to explore about their interests. And one thing, a good thing about the MUIC is even they start from the computer engineering and later on they think that they would like to study about the computer science, then they can transfer it. It's a kind of the common things. Or even some students start from the computer science, later on they transfer to the computer engineering. It's okay. So it is a good thing that the MUC provide this kind of the service that allow the student to, after they explore more, maybe first year or second years of the student in MUIC already, right? And then they realize that okay, this is what they need, so they can change it later, even they start from the computer science or computer engineering. Right?
Yeah. Wow. And can computer engineering be a minor?
Computer engineering is be a minor. I think this one is according to the student to shoot it. It can be a minor from the others programs, right?
Yeah. Last but not the least, do you have partners or any graduating students who would like to work in the field? For example, if I'm graduating in computer engineering by the end of this month, I will be asking our faculty members, like, where would I work, and places like that. Do you have a pathway to internships or work, applying them to the jobs that is suitable for them?
Yes, we have the actually in our program we have the co-ops, right? That is one of the career path that actually is the student can choose to do the co-op. It means that if they choose to do the co-op, they don't need to take 2 elective course, but instead of spend 1 trimester in the universities, right? They just spend 1 trimester in the companies, and they just work like a team member in the companies, right? So that is a good thing that they can gain more experience about the work in the computer areas, right? And then it's gonna be their opportunities if after they graduate, they would like to work in the same place or they are looking for the other place. So they're gonna know that okay, what they need because they have some more experience already. 4 months 4 months in the companies, so they have learned some things. And I see that some of our students who doing the co-op, right? He's mentioned that he's learned a lot more than he spent time in the universities, right? Because something that he cannot learn in the class, but he can learn or he can have experience in the companies. When he's working with the term, he know that how to be the team members, how to collaborate others, right? And he learn more about what they have learned, right, in the class, and can be used in the real life, in the companies or in the industry, right? So that is a good thing for the co-op. And another thing is we also have just like a MUIC also have the job fairs, and so students can have a chance to apply for the jobs. And in our department, we also have just like a collaborate with the companies, provide the trainings and also introduce about their companies. Basically, it's going to be bi-weekly or weekly, right? If it's not during the COVID situations, basically we're going to have that. So students can learn something from the companies about they can provide the training. For example, they provide about the UI UX training, and at the same time they can introduce about the companies, right? And if student interest about the job, they can apply it at that moment also, right? So it is a kind of another kind of the opportunities that student can have a connection with the companies, and even they can contact alumni. Also, that is a kind of another opportunity that they can find a suitable job for them. Right?
So we got few minutes left. For students who have more questions, I believe they'll go into the virtual exhibition. So would you be there too?
We have one of faculty members going to be there, right, to answer the questions. Right?
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's it for this session, a very, very good sessions to let me be able to understand about how computer engineering actually works on. So thank you so much to our program director of computer engineering, Dr. Lalita Narupiyakul. Thank you so much. I received a lot of good things, knowledge about computer. So for anybody who have more questions, please feel free to log into the virtual exhibitions. So we got 25 booths, divided into each of the faculty, and they'll be having a faculty members who will be answering your question. It's like one-on-one base, like a chat between you and you and the alumni, you and the teachers as well. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now the time for people who are interested about food science and technology. So, things that we eat every day, what do we shop every day, anything that, will help us to survive. There's a lot of people behind it. And great people behind that are mostly they're like food science and technologies that helps to develop and innovate something really, really great to us. So now I would like to welcome Assistant Professor Dr. Mirasha Lauhapasih, Program Director of Food Science and Technology, to talk about food science and technology. Sawadee
Hi, Monica.
Okay, you're doing great. Hi, I'm good. I'm doing great. Okay, so let's talk about food science and technology. From every day, from wake up until in the evening, we go back home to sleep. So the food we eat and the things we consume, you are the people behind those things, right?
Right. That's right. Everyone knows food quite well, right?
Because what is it about food science and technology? How do you get really close to our life?
As you know that everyone cannot live without food, right? So we not only aim for eating them or playing with them. So we normally create things. So as you know, that is one of the basic science. Okay, we want to apply science. So we normally apply the basic knowledge that we got from science, and then we use them to change things with food. So we make it more shelf life lasts longer. We normally have a great innovations idea for the food, for the create new things. Okay, so that's what we do. Make sure that it's safe as well. So it's one of the important things, right?
Okay, and how do I know that I'm suitable for this food science and technology? Is there anything, the checklist that makes me feel like, yeah, I'm ready for this course?
as you know, that is science, one of the science. So what I do is I prepare some of the slides for you, and hopefully you can match them whether you are really into the program or suitable for the programs or not. So please
Yes.
allow me to share the presentations here. Okay, with that
Sure.
mind. Okay. Um, okay, so as you know that about programs, so it's normally quite linked to food, right? So in our curriculum, so we normally design the courses for food science students um, by knowing our graduates. So let's have a look. So what do our graduates do? So our previous graduates, so they normally can work in international companies or leading organizations. They normally can be in Nestle, company Dumex, or even like they have their own business. Okay, and some of them after graduates for bachelor degrees, so they normally join the world-class university. So what we do is we plan for matching or those graduates and backward design to our curriculum. Okay, so of course they normally require some knowledge in science with the objective of the program. So we normally aim to produce the graduate with the ability to produce safe and high quality food products. So as you know that safety is very important nowadays. Okay, and also not only in the kitchen. So we normally aim for making them to be able to make safe in industrial scales. And for those students who would like to go for further studies after graduate, so they'll be qualified and accept to the graduate program in world-class universities. For the structure, so this may answer the question. So what do students have to go through and what's matched to student? So here are some structures. So as you know that in first year, so they normally have to go through the general educations and that normally can encourage the lifelong learning. Okay, so in English or life appreciations group of courses, we have to start with the background knowledge. So that's a good thing. In general, for science students, they normally require the background knowledge in science, right? However, for MUIC here, so we normally accept students from every different major. So if you're not studying science before, so it's okay as well. We have the core courses or science just for you to start with. Okay, so that could be involved in terms of the biology, chemistry, that. After that, once you have the knowledge in the core science course, so we're gonna move you along to the required courses. So what's that about? So you're only gonna have the knowledge that you got from core science course in order to apply them into the things relating to food. For example, like you learn more in terms of processing, you learn more chemistry about food. Okay, and after that, you also for your interest, so you have many major elective courses for you. For example, you're interested in like dairy products more. Okay, so you normally can learn more about that, or in beverage technologies, or product developments, or innovations of design. Well, again, with any other courses, so other programs, so you see that with the iDesign concept that make our students know more than normal food science and technologists. Okay. So all right. When I'm showing this, is that okay for me to have give you a little tour on our facilities?
Sure. That's the fun part of food science, the facilities and lab.
Yeah, so sorry that we cannot bring everyone to show it around the facility. So think it as a good chance for you to have a look here in one place. So we have many different labs here. We have the food science and technologies lab. We have chemistry, instrument analysis, microbiology, or food research laboratory. So here are the lab that we have at MUIC. Not only that, we also have fun of bringing some students for the actual pilot plans at our partners lab, so Institute of Nutrition. Okay, we're gonna see how it's like. So have a look here.
Sure,
so this is This is our lab in food science technologies. So we have some space for giving like brief introductions before the area for working. So there'll be a kitchens area as well. But again, food science and technology is not only cooking. Okay, we're not making food. So we normally have the equipments in order to test. Okay, so here are the instruments in order to test the texture of food. Okay, so you'll be able to play with this. Okay, next room that I would like to lead you through. So this is the Microbiologist Laboratory. So you see that we have the space here, and of course we normally arrange the microscope and all the things that you can use to test. So we normally apply this room for some course like biology as the core science course or the food microbiologist course. Okay. Next room, there'll be chemistry lab. So you see that in front of the room. So normally have like many precautions. So you normally have to pass the knowledge in order to be able to use the laboratory room. Okay. Inside the chemistry room, so you see there's a lot of instruments for analysis. So you normally can analyze proteins, extracting fibers and all that. Okay, so these are in chemistry, food chemistry, and we also apply them for the senior projects. So that normally be assigned to students in order to graduate. Okay, so they normally have to do the thing that they like. Okay, and using the equipment. With the instrument in analysis room, so this is HPLC. So we have the spectrometers, gas chromatography, that when we inject the extractions of the volatile compounds. So you see that when you talk about a strawberry, so you know that, oh, the flavor of strawberry could be sweet and sour, but not only that, you should be able to analyze them. What result in, what are the chemicals that release out, okay, for each type. For example, like, have you ever sniffed thing when someone cut glasses, right? Have you ever walked past and you can smell things? So these are the equipment in order to analyze whether what will these volatile compounds related to which of the compounds. So we can apply that in as well. And as mentioned earlier, that we also have the actual pilot plans. Okay, so this is gonna give you the overview of how students if you have a chance to be one of us. So you see, or you be with us. So you see that this how they like. So they start reading and they have a chance to use the equipment. So this is one of the course in processing. So in this pilot plan, so even though like it's not like as the large scales compared to the real factory or in real industry, so you see that you normally can produce the actual products from these pilot plans. You see that each of the students we have a chance to try. So you see that over here we have the canning, can seaming equipments. Okay, so each of students, you have a chance to use the cans or use the can by themselves. And this is one of the instruments for the drying. Not only that, so over here, these are the list of the equipments. Okay, some samples of the equipments that it can be available over at the pilot plants at the Institute of Nutrition. So you see that there's many of them, and then we normally can be able to use that. Not only studying or learning in all those lab, okay, we also have some activities for students as well. So what could be the activity? We do provide field trips. So as you see that when you learn in the theory in the classroom, right? So you normally tend to cannot imagine so how it would be like. Okay, so we normally apply some field trips in many courses, and we normally allow students to do internships as well. The good thing, another thing is when we do like an internship or the field trips. Okay, Ajinomoto is normally provided scholarships, and many of our students receive the talent scholarship from Ajinomoto. Thanks to them, very good chance for our students. And also, we're so proud for these two ladies. Actually, we send students for many competitions, for example, like the Nestle Quiz Bowl. So that normally being the competitions from the food science students around the country, okay, around in all over Thailand, and also with the innovation design over here for Food Innopolis. So our student got the winning prize. Okay, we're so proud of them. So I think they are just graduated. So yeah, awesome activities. Okay, and so sorry that we cannot. This is how it's like for open house. So
Wow.
to
Due
see
to this
that how
COVID, we have to get things virtually.
so we arrange some things for students just to see a little of our products. Okay, sometimes we let them try great things or doing something fun. Okay, so the students, our students always love it. And so really sorry that we haven't had a chance to welcome all of you this year. However, hope you got what it's like, okay, to be with us. Here you go. That's from me.
Wow, very, very, very exciting for me. For me, what is so attractive in food science and technology was about like testing stuff. I remember my time studying in MUIC. I think I had an elective course. I was a business major, but then I had an elective course, which is food science, and I chose food science. So it was about testing the yeast and so many things. I feel like people in food science and technology are like playing some game, some toys at all time, and they're testing things at all time.
Being food scientist is like you not only have a chance to learn more about food, right? You not only have a chance to play with them. So that's the fun thing about food scientists. Okay, you have a chance to play, you have a chance to adapt. You normally can make things that like different. So something like something that normally can do. So in the past, you said that food cannot be played with, but I'm not so sure whether you've seen some of the products here. We not make it, but it normally come from the brain of food scientists. Jelly beans, okay? They normally create things like jelly beans that normally, in general, jelly beans normally can come in with many different flavors, right? But when you normally can create like when you're playing with it, these are things that you can have like a trial and test whether how it's like for you. So you play with it, you come up, you may get the exact jelly beans that have coconut flavor, or you can get the jelly bean with the spoiled milk flavor. So that's
you're testing in regards to safety, in regards to life shelf, and also chemical stuff within their substances and you can also create or design a taste and the taste, the structure of the product itself too, right? Like how you would like to create this bread. It could be in like a heart shape or so that's kind of your job too. And may I know if food science and technology, the things that you're going to learn there, is it also related to something like cosmetics that has to be dealing with food grade stuff?
If you talk about that, so have you ever seen the lipstick that edible? Yeah, as you know, that we are one of the applied science, so we use the basic knowledge in science in order to apply them. So we know that some are the things that edible, so that normally can press on your lips, and then of course there's a chance of getting into your body as well. So that's one of the things that you can do. So actually, there's many more things that you can do. You normally can create something like a meat, but normally can make from any other thing else, okay, like beans or mushroom, okay, or you normally can make things that use as byproduct, for example, like mangosteens, right? For the peels of mangosteens, so you normally can learn how to extract them out and then use them elsewhere, okay, as the source of antioxidants and provide more beneficials to your health, and that's good.
Wow. Okay, that's very interesting. And in terms of, like you said, you have scholarship from Ajinomoto, right? And so many firms that has been asking the program to do a research for. Do you have any success showcase? That is like a proud product to present, like the latest one, the trend. What's the trend of the knowledge of food science and technology for now?
Okay, let me clarify about scholarships from Ajinomoto. So the scholarship from Ajinomoto is for our students. So that's called talented scholarship. So they normally fund our students. Okay, so they normally can get a scholarship. So far, I think we got a couple of students. So last year we got about 4 to 5 students who has fund from the Ajinomoto scholarships. Okay, so for each of the year with the research, it normally depends on whether now we're working on with the Tonka Fasaiwan restaurant to develop some kind of like the health food, the health trends that normally aim for the food that not or we call that imitated meat products or meat analog that provide more nutrients. For example, like essential amino acid that you are required. As you know that the plant-based one may not have complete amino acid as normal meat. So we normally learn about research more about the essential amino acid and then bring them in to create the food that provide essential amino acid as quite instead of the meat products.
Yeah, and that's really true, because for the meat, the plant-based is very, it's the upcoming trend, right? How long have this been studied? Like 5 years ago, or how recent was it?
So actually with the it's quite not many years ago here.
Right?
We still keep moving on. So because we normally develop any other thing else as well. So just to work with them. So as you know that they are one of the restaurants that normally provide the health target for the health conscious consumer. So that's why we normally develop new products for them, and also we normally plan to explore many things relating to the food that provide the health benefit to consumers. So as you know that for health and well-being of the nations normally depends on the good qualities of food. Okay, so that's why we normally want to create things for even like for our students as well. They normally have one of the course for MUIC students, so that normally quite linked to the health. So not only for science students, so they normally have a chance to take the course that normally give them more knowledge in terms of the healthy things. For example, like they'll know that the difference between saturated fatty acid, trans fat, or even like how it's like, or what would be the things that are the list of the food that you could find them in. So they normally have to be some kind of group that have to be a wine, and there's some food that normally being encouraged to consume.
Okay. Another good questions to ask you, our program director. How is it like to study in your class? What's the challenges in becoming your students?
Okay.
What you're getting them through for 4 years?
Okay. I've been teaching for more than 10 years. So I love being with my students. So we have so many different students, but they are lovely to me. So they normally enjoy learning new things, and especially when they have a chance to visit out somewhere else. For example, like in field trip, when they have like activities, they normally enjoys it a lot. So there's many of the courses that I teach. We normally provide a laboratory. So they normally not only learn from the theory, it's not going to be like a whole day for theory only. So they normally can use the knowledge that they learn and then try and play with them in the laboratory. So that's why I show you out with the many of our laboratories and in different area.
Wow. So you've been actually touching so many things through as well. And what would you like to tell the parents who feels like, maybe my kids loving science, or maybe they love exploring about food? Some of them might not have a clear definition about food science in their mind. Can you just give a brief, maybe a few sentences about why the kids should be applying to this program?
Okay, so there's many misconceptions about the food scientist and becoming a chef. Okay, so they're normally quite different. So with the chef, they normally learn the techniques in cooking, kitchen skills, right, and make food edible, including safety as well. However, with the food scientist, we aim for safetyness, nutritionist for the whole as a wholesome, and also be able to make the food available. We change variety. So for the parents who think that okay, your kids love science, your kids love to play within the laboratories, your kids love to think of the new things. So this is gonna be the thing for you. Okay, so if you are interested in things with food, your kids have like the very interest in trial and experimenting. Okay, so this would be them. And of course, as you see that our graduates, so many of them, they normally becomes like entrepreneurs. So they normally create their own business, or even like some of them, they normally create their own products. So they see that characteristic of our students, and normally not that strict to the theory. We normally have some theory, and they be able to apply them. So that's the thing about us. So we encourage students for the lifelong learning. So they normally can adjust accordingly, according to the situations, and adaptable. And they'll normally be able to find the new knowledge or a thing that will be used and matched to their objective at that time.
Because as for the situations right now, like the COVID-19 and everything, anything that you use, you consume, even though you're not graduating to become a scientist or anything, but I think it's also compulsory to know, because of food or anything that we be dealing with, because as for now, it's a trend too, like clean food, knowing the calories, how to make our life actually live longer, paying less of the medical stuff in the hospital, so that the sustainability we're building up with ourselves in dealing with, what we are living in this world.
Right. Nowadays, that we normally have like hygiene is very important. Okay,
very important. And people pay more for the hygiene. People pay more for clean food, for something that is really a bit difficult to get it or extract it.
So you used to see like, I used to see like, okay, it would be very good if you have like the glasses together that we can see all the microorganisms. However, in fact, it would be so scary because the microorganism is around us, it's everywhere. But you don't really know whether there's some microorganisms that normally can provide the health benefit. For example, like the probiotics. Okay, we heard about probiotics, they normally being microorganisms as well, but normally we require them in our body for digestive system. Okay, so there be some bad microorganisms, as you mentioned, Monica. So the salmonella, so that normally can cause like a diarrhea, food poisoning. So we normally learn how to keep all those good things that can provide health benefit and good for humans, and then we normally can just get rid of the thing that normally can result in spoiled food or even like food poisonings within the body.
Very exciting. Would you like to leave any message for these, potential upcoming students of yours? Because we got 5 minutes more. Would you like to say anything? Any clips to watch before they come and talk to you? Or any inspiration you want to share? Like maybe they know that, okay, I look at the mirror and then I'm going to be a food scientist.
So as you know that nowadays, great food scientists is normally quite secure job here with the food. So you're normally gonna be if you listen through from the beginning, so you see that we normally provide not only the knowledge to become food scientists, we normally have an options for you to study of the things that you like. So you may love to know more about business. So we have the lectures in the business area, from business program, finance, marketing, and all that. So that make our students friends, and we normally being as the families to students. So that's mean many students normally can send me chat line or ask some questions to me. So don't worry about that. So that's mean if you have any questions or anything happen or any problems dealing or throughout the study, we normally be the one who could help you through once you graduate or even like once you graduate. There's many our alumni still be able to keep in touch together with us as well. So that's how we like. And if you think that the thing that we listen to that match your interest, so feel free to join us. Okay, we always welcome the students to be our family here.
Okay, thank you so much, and I think that was really fulfilled. For me, I have not much knowledge about food science and technology, but now I know more from you. Thank you so much. Big thanks to our program director of food science and technology, Assistant Professor Dr. Mirasha Lauhapasih. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so
and
much.
I think a lot of students will be getting into the virtual exhibitions to ask for more information. So how was it for today? I think people, thank you so much for everybody, watching from morning till the afternoon sessions. And tomorrow, do not forget, we have another day. It will be the last day of the MUIC virtual open days. So we have list, let me read it through, very interesting. So we have list of special talk by our professors and our lecturers. During 10 a.m. in the morning, we'll be hearing about media and communication from Ajahn Nannapan, okay? And next will be communication design by Ajahn Ploy, and next will be international relations and global affairs. And continue with that, we get through the intercultural studies and language, which is IC and IC. And last but not the least, preparation center and mathematics. So the first day was about business. Second day, which is today, is about science. And tomorrow will be about communications and languages. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask so. And do not forget that for students who have to register, before you'll be listening to me, here right now, we're having a live session at our Facebook of Mahidol University International College official fan page, or either YouTube or either through SIP event. Do not forget that once you have registered into the MUIC Virtual Open Days 2021 in the SIP event, and you just fill all the informations ready, get all the documents ready within the 24th until 26th of June as well, and send those receipts kind of like, and as an evidence to the line application. That is the official line of MUIC. You just have to just put @ MUIC friend. That's it. Okay. If you miss anything that I say, feel free to ask again. And do not forget that we have waived the application fees if you just doing all these things that I mentioned, sending all the informations, documents, and everything ready. And we also have a special gift for you too. Do not forget, and I'm sure tomorrow will be fun. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for everybody listening to us from the morning until the evening. This is not evening yet, it's afternoon session. And I hope you enjoy. Do not forget to join virtual exhibition. And this is it for MUIC Virtual Open Day 2021. For today, สวัสดีค่ะ